Welcome to day one of our workshop. You don't have to look far to see mobility in action at work, school, or play. It's part of our world and over the past decade has become a much bigger part of higher education. On campus, you've probably seen that backpacks aren't as full anymore. Tablets mean something different now than it used to, and you can see a bookshelf carried around on an app. And referring to a notebook probably means what type of laptop are you carrying? One thing you'll always find in the backpack is a smartphone. So mobile learning is certainly a relevant conversation on campuses today. If you Google mobile learning, you'll have to sift through a lot of information to arrive at what exactly does it mean. This slide was captured on December 20th, 2017. When I looked it up at the time of this recording on January 25th, 2018, I had 108 million responses. That's almost doubled what was available just less or a little more than a month ago and in less time. So today, you'll want to be thinking about how you and your institution are defining mobile learning. Now, you've probably seen statistics like this. The amount of times a day a student is accessing their phone, how many hours they're spending on it. Of note is the fact that a large majority of institutions now have a college-oriented mobile app. This is important because most of us only access 4 to 6 apps a day on a regular basis. Campuses having a mobile app that houses all the necessary student information in one place is helpful, streamlines things, and gives a better student user experience. Now, research out of the University of Virginia and others have demonstrated that FAFSA completion is higher if a reminder is sent out through the text. So there are many benefits of mobile. But we know the dangers, and we've seen this on campus, right? Students are spending a lot of time on mobile. They're spending a lot of time on apps and a lot of times just doing mobile, as you can see from this slide. 2015, just 3 years ago, students were spending 5.6 hours a day with digital media, and the majority of that time was accessed through mobile. Now, you know that the numbers have probably gone up slightly because you can see how the curve is trending. So the implications for an increased usage of mobile on campus is certainly makes a case. I like this quote. A society which is mobile, which is full of channels for the distribution of a change occurring anywhere, must see to it that its members are educated through personal initiative and adaptability. Otherwise, they will be overwhelmed by the changes in which they are caught and whose significance or connections they do not perceive. Thank you, John Dewey, back in 1916 in his book, Democracy in Education, over 100 years old now. I like this definition of mobile learning. Education or training conducted by means of portable computing devices such as smartphones or tablet computers. Note, it's a noun. But we just don't learn with mobile, we live mobile. We consume Netflix, Starbucks, social media, texting. We cash out, we cash in. We carry much of the same functions we did 40 years ago, but ubiquitous access to the internet allows us to do it while mobile. Back in the 50s, we were kind of tethered in a way to the classroom and to our books. In the 90s, the personal computer started to give us somewhat mobility in how we connected to education. Today, we can travel anywhere with our ubiquitous access. Now, mobile learning has been around for a long time, but the release of the iPhone really put it on the radar. For the first few years, I call the novelty stage. Students started giving out iPods, remember those? iPhones, etc. And it was an exciting time in higher ed. Every week the Christian Chronicle was highlighting a school that was giving out iPhones in the name of promoting learning and increasing enrollment. Then apps features continued to develop and the need for responsive design became a bigger focus. Now, we're kind of at that no turning back point, and that brings about some realities and decisions about how we are going to do pedagogy and the role of technology in our personal teaching. Oh, and that is a picture of me with Steve the Wozniak when I was the director of mobile learning at ACU. The Woz spoke at a conference, and I got to hang out with him for a couple days. Pretty cool stuff. We learned a lot. Now, in the classroom, this is our reality, right? Students are connected with us, and they're connected to other things at the same time, and that's kind of the rub. So we're kind of in this adversarial yet necessary relationship with technology in our learning space. One of the things I do at my university, and we'll have some of the readings and implications for a survey in your institution throughout our workshop, but here's what I do at Hardin-Simmons. Every other year I take a survey of our students. And in the survey we did in the fall, we asked them how to use the following for learning, your smartphone, tablet, or mobile apps. Almost half of our students use a smartphone several times a day for learning, and we defined learning to be true learning activities, not getting on it for Netflix if they felt that that was learning. But we saw that students by and large use their smartphone and use apps, but they use the tablet less. One thing that I think is important to ask is, how do you as a student perceive these devices to be useful in your work as a student? Well, they felt that it increased their communication with their instructor, increased their motivation for doing homework, and it increased their knowledge in their field of study, and it improved the quality of their learning experience. While our students believe that mobility enacted on campus helps them, the ECAR report is a report that you can look at to give you some normative national data. And the reality is that students all over come with a laptop and their smartphone. It's a both and. So whether they're online, face-to-face, or blended, they have multiple tech approaches, if you will. As you can see from the information here, the orange being they prefer a learning environment with some online components. And they think a one size doesn't fit higher education so much anymore. Students use their device. It's part of their academic ethos. They want a blended environment. We'll do more on this in day 5. And blended is not just face-to-face with a little outside of class activity. Online courses are part of this blended experience as well. And students think that using their tools helps them learn. I like this quote at face value, but I like the implication. Much of what we've been doing as teachers and students isn't serving us well, but some comparatively simple changes could make a big difference. Now, our approach in this workshop is not to throw out everything you know about teaching and bring in mobile learning and totally transform your pedagogy. It's to make small changes that can make a big difference. The New Media Consortium's Horizon Report, which unfortunately this year has ceased to exist and will no longer be available, but something that is in its current report I think is very important. It says instructors still need technical and pedagogical support for their institutions and integrated mobiles in their curricula. I couldn't agree more. We all need this information. And I think this speaks to us all in some way. We're very busy. We're a content expert. And the introduction of mobility is one of the first times our learners have a set or an experience and an expertise that far exceeds perhaps what we feel or even do have. So there's a little bit of an unbalance there. So we all need some instruction. 2016, StatCounter reported that 51.3% of the web browsing worldwide took place via mobiles, and was the first time mobile overtook desktop browsing. And I think that's significant. I think the old toothpaste is out of the tube has never been more evident in mobile. But it's not something that we need to drag heels reluctantly. Rather, it's something that we can embrace and continue to utilize our context to engage and increase student learning. I'll tell you a little bit about the framework that we're going to hang our mobile initiatives on throughout the week. Now, we'll be looking at other frameworks, but I choose the Community of Inquiry framework to work in mobile. And we'll look at other models, and you can choose your own. But I'm going to take the COI model, and it's something that I've adapted as well. And I'm going to make the connection from the teacher to student, teacher to content, student to student, and student to learning. And I apologize if that G on that lower right-hand slide is cut off. I realize you're here to walk away with some practical examples that you can plug into your context right away, and you'll get plenty of takeout this week. Here's an example. I'd like you to meet Linda. Linda is the brainchild of the gentleman you see in this TEDx talk pictured there, Dr. Stephen Baldridge of Abilene Christian University. He was one of my research fellows for 2 years, and he created Linda, and you can follow her at Social Worker on the Shelf, hashtag Social Worker on the Shelf, rather. And Linda is somebody we'll be introducing to you in pedagogy, but let me tell you how he incorporates Linda with social media. Linda will go around 12 days before Christmas, and you'll have 12 days of Christmas with Linda. And also throughout the year, where she'll visit various things. You might see her at the pool, you might see her in a spa, you might see her in the state capitol. But students can follow and interact and engage with Linda in a context that goes well outside the LMS or the traditional classroom. So you'll be getting a lot of opportunities to unpack possibilities for mobile learning this week. Now, by way of reminder, make sure that you introduce yourself to get connected. Look around the workshop, see what's ahead, take a look at some of the resources. If you haven't, please go ahead and take that survey so I can tailor some things to your individual needs or institutional context. If you haven't already, go ahead and sign up for Remind. Now read, review, and play with the materials and activities